I no longer consider myself a Californian. Well, I read an article about a couple that moved from California to Texas. And yeah, if you're moving to Texas, I guess you no longer consider yourself a Californian. I actually skipped over the article because I knew what it was about. They were moving from California to Texas to escape all the liberal politics, and you guys know what it's the same story that I have. But what was more interesting is I read the comments, and you guys know you can just head straight to the comments section to see what everybody thinks. And so today, what I want to do is give you what I think about some of the comments that were made about that article. So here we go. Jim writes, "Good riddance. Let's loose a few more like millions." All right, Jim. Nice language there. I don't know if he meant let's lose or loose. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of how some of the comments were. And before I get a little too critical or judgmental about that, if liberals, wanted to leave the United States because they weren't happy about how things are going here, I think I'd probably say the same thing. Like, don't let the door hit you, right? But anyway, Jim, yeah, how's your California going to be if we lose millions more like that? Whatever, Jim. Okay, this is the one that really steamed me, but I don't know if Diana's got all the marbles up here. LOL, you moved out of the most gorgeous, best weather city to hot and humid, not to mention their frigid winters. Tennessee? You're out of your mind. Seriously, Diana? Okay, she didn't quite understand. Actually, she doesn't even understand what the article was about. They're talking about people leaving California because of their liberal politics. Diana, come on, get it upstairs going on here. They're not leaving because they're finding better weather other places. And I got to admit, this whole year that we've been in Tennessee rather than California, it's not like the weather has been, I don't know. I don't know where she's getting the better weather. Diana, they're leaving because they don't feel safe. They don't want to see all the homeless encampments. They're leaving because of all of the illegal immigrants. They're leaving because their children can't go to school without hearing about all this gender junk. And so, Diana, it's not about the weather. It's about everything that we've all left for. And so get it into your head. And in fact, it's actually very beautiful outside, a wonderful 72 degrees here in Tennessee. So Diana, just to let you know, it's not about the weather. And this couple had left San Diego, which is gorgeous weather, but again, it's not about the weather. And now let's go to Hone. Isn't that nice? They moved from a welcoming place like California. Okay, I can't say that with a straight face, but here we go. To an unwelcoming place like Texas, but still turned about badmouth California. Geez, you have made it in California and can afford to move. Just move and shut your mouth. For each have moved out, there's thousands other want to move in but can't afford it. So don't make your move a big deal. Okay, first of all, Hone, your writing is terrible, but a welcoming place like California, yeah, welcoming for liberal folks like you, welcoming for people who want to pay high taxes, people who just want to throw away their money, people who just, yeah, like the nice weather like Diana does, but can care less if she gets robbed or feels unsafe or, I don't have to go on, do I? And the thousands of people that want to move in, okay, show me where those thousands of people are. And, you wouldn't see this mass exodus from California if there were so many people that wanted to go there. But anyway, I don't know where you're getting your information, Home. But you know what? For all trash like this, there were some great ones. This is for Two Shoot. And I no longer consider myself a Texan due to all the Californians that defected there, talking about Texas, had to move up and move to Tennessee to get away from the liberal HELL that became Central Texas. And he's talking about, or she, no, it looks like a he, is talking about a lot of places, all those blue states. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. They're moving to Tennessee, they're moving to other places, Utah, other places to get away from what you're talking about here. And the last one is from Danny. We have neighbors across the street who are from California. They were born and reared there, but are so glad to be in Texas. They are conservative and really good people. I think all the good people are leaving California while the freeloaders and communists stay. Ah, well said there. And so he's completely right. And that's, I get it. When you come to Tennessee, people need to ask, hey, what is the purpose here of you moving here? Because they are so protective of their state. And I would agree that they don't want Californians coming here and changing it like Texas. Because Texas is starting to turn very blue. And I get it. You're going to be protective. But that's what we have to claim, is that we are trying to get away. We are trying to make this place better. We want to escape what California was to come here and enjoy the freedom and the no nonsense in our public schools, and the list can go on and on. So, that article was very intriguing with the comments. It's just interesting that you run into so much junk like the ones I read before, but they're probably the ones that are commenting in California and wondering why are so many people leaving. They just don't get it. And anyway, let's move on to something interesting that I've been thinking about is being here in Tennessee. I have just embraced what I used to embrace before, and that was just the love of country. Not that I lost my love of country, but it's just lately they've been making it seem like the United States is just bad and it's not worth respecting the national anthem for. And you have to wonder, there's so many people that now, Americans, that root against Americans, like in the Olympics and other things like the World Cup for women, where they refuse to acknowledge the national anthem. And so, of course, people are going to say, hey, we want you to lose. And it's just sad, when you go watch these Olympic things, or when you watch sports where the United States is represented, and you get these jokers that want to talk bad about the United States, don't represent or acknowledge the national anthem. You get them rooting against these athletes. And it's just sad that I've gotten to the point where I used to just go, go USA, go USA. And now I'm like, hey, if you lose, I could care less. In fact, I'm almost rooting for the other countries, because like the women's soccer team, it's, hey, if you don't want to acknowledge the national anthem, why are you even playing for the United States? And I don't want to go on about this. It's just, that's the sad part. And, I have never vocalized this before to anybody, but one of my biggest dreams, and it might sound weird, it might even sound morbid, but I, when I've seen military funerals, when I was watching, especially after 9/11, when they would carry out either coffins or bodies, it was wrapped in the United States flag. And ever since I was like in high school, I thought, man, if I could just be, carried out like that in the American flag, because I just love my country so much. That was one of my goals. And not that I wanted to die on 9/11, but I'm thinking that was the only way, because I'm not in the military. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not a law enforcement. And I think those might be the only ones who actually get draped in the United States flag, at their funeral. And so I was thinking, well, what would be the way that I could? And I didn't want to die in 9/11 to be like that, but I almost embraced it. I almost was like, yeah, that's, what I want. I wanted something to represent my country. When I was little, I wanted to be the Olympics, but because I wanted to represent the United States with that flag. And to see these athletes disrespect the national anthem and the flag like that, it just makes my blood boil. And it just made me thinking about those that get buried with the United States flag. On a lighter note, it was so funny. Last Sunday in church, our pastor was talking about, being a Christian and being all in as a Christian. And he was talking about different things like hobbies where people go all in. They go to conventions, they get, you know, like, different hobbies, comic books, baseball cards, sewing, knitting, music. It's just impressive when you find people that are just all in. They give 110% to whatever they're into. And he was like, yeah, and I was going to say football, but I'm not going to mention that because last week Tennessee lost to Florida, and the whole congregation laughed because he knew, or they knew, what he was talking about. That, here in Tennessee, they just love their Tennessee volunteer football. And to mention that last Sunday after they lost, good call there, Pastor. That would have been a very sour note to talk about that. But it was just funny to hear that. Well, it is officially fall, and wherever you are, well, it was kind of funny to hear that fall started in different places. Like in California, it actually started at a different time than here in Tennessee. But it's just cool to start to see the colors change in some of the trees. Not everything, but it's just really beautiful to feel that. The air is a little more crisp and the leaves are starting to change. So it's just very beautiful to drive around and to see these beautiful colors here in Tennessee.